Well, good morning. Today is Sunday, June 22nd. Welcome to the live stream. My name is Angela. I'm coming to you from St. Paul, Minnesota. I am a software engineer and front-end developer with a fresh cup of coffee. How are you doing today? So I dedicated the month of June to finishing my personal website. I do have a playlist on the channel, dedicated a playlist about how I started designing this website back in, I think it was in December. I'm pretty sure it was December, maybe right around New Year's. Starting with project planning and a style guide. And then I kind of went away quietly for several months and I worked on the site by myself. I hadn't worked on the site since the beginning of April, and I really wanted to get things finished and deployed, launched into production by July 1st. And we finished the last project at the end of May, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to set aside June and we're going to get this site done. And I can't believe that I even really hesitated to do that, because it has turned out to be one of my better life choices. The project planning, the QA, the issue tracking, getting down with a fine-tooth comb and identifying the things that need to get done, and then keeping track of all those little things that we notice along the way. One of the best decisions I've ever made. I just couldn't be happier with the progress. We are right on track. I would even say that we're perhaps a little ahead of schedule, like a little bit. Yesterday I had a hard stop after about 90 minutes, but we still got a significant amount of work done yesterday. We finished adding the content for the projects, which I designed as a grid. And I have to tell you, I'm thrilled. I'm very happy. However, I also think that this feels a little busy and maybe a little cluttered. Like maybe it could be this could be laid out in a way that is a little bit better and a little more readable. I'm not going to prioritize that before July 1st, but I am going to put it on the issue board. I actually think that each project should be laid out in rows to make it a little more readable. This to me just feels a little bit busy. Oh, this is a good comment. So CodeBricks is asking, did you design it yourself? I like the little details, but I seem to lack imagination when it comes to flair. CodeBricks, you and me both. You and me both. I empathize with this, and I think you're stating this really, really well. And here's my advice. You just need a lot of practice. You need a lot of practice. So much of my inspiration just comes from a lot of experience. I've been a front-end developer for 12 years. And first of all, I'm here to tell you that there are no new and original ideas. Point blank, period, full stop. Everything has already been done before. Look at other websites, look at other designs, go on Behance, go on Pinterest, go anywhere you can think of. There isn't a single thing that I've done here with my design. Yes, I did design this myself. Everything that I've done here, I drew inspiration from multiple projects that I've worked on over the last 12 years of my career. Every single thing that you see here was inspired from something that I already saw implemented on another website. Every single thing. But I would challenge you to find another website anywhere that looks like my website when it comes to flair, right? And so that's a rhetorical challenge. My point is that yes, I have borrowed heavily and been inspired from the work that I've done on other sites. It just takes a ton of practice and a lot of experience. And if you're new here, I want to point you to something that I find incredibly helpful. Pinterest. Pinterest. Because I also really struggle when it comes to flair. Let's just do website design inspiration. Wow, did Pinterest tighten up their board? Let's just make this a little bigger so it's easier. I think Pinterest is a great source of inspiration. Okay, so let's look at this as an example. Can we see this a little bigger? Yeah. So it's not really letting me zoom in on this. So hopefully you can see it. There are lots, let me go to a different, there. So there are lots of elements here that you could easily take and reuse on another site, right? Border treatments, overlays, opacity, little background treatments, the flair, right? The things that make it pop. Those are things that you just gain from experience and from working on a lot of different sites. I used to, at the beginning of my career, wow, I would look at things and I'd be like, okay, I got the layout and we got the color palette and we got the branding, but why does it look so boring? Why does it look so boring? And it just took me a long time and a lot of practice. Let's see if we can find, I think, you see here how these check marks are probably SVGs, and we've got lots of things kind of overlapping, and we've got headers in a nice script text. What else do we have here? I think these are great. This isn't the question that you asked me, but things like this, where there's lots on Pinterest that sort of talks about structurally what makes a good layout for a page. And I would say first and foremost, get your layout really nailed down and locked in, right? Get your layout really just like tight and dialed in, and don't try to reinvent that wheel. There is kind of a formula for how to lay things out, and there's a reason for it. It's because there has been a lot of research and a lot of research feedback that these things work, these layouts work. So get your layout really dialed in first, and then go back and add the flair, the treatments, the things that kind of make it pop or make it look really special. Like we've got some layout elements here. We've got good branding, good colors. This is a title where they've taken one word in the title and made it script. So if you want to do those types of things with titles or headings, take the word in the heading that is like the verb, whatever the action word is, and make it bold or make it italic or make it a different font or make it a different color. Those are the things that give things flair or make things kind of pop. I hate that word pop, but it kind of works. Here's a good example. That was an ad. Yeah, that was an ad. But I would say Pinterest is a really excellent resource because first of all, it's totally free. And there's so much good design inspiration here. So get your layout locked in first, and then think about the little touches like the buttons, the heading. Take the logo and add it as like a background SVG, things like that. I found this image, which I think I can just show you the original image here. So I have this image. First of all, I just had this collection of these types of images. These are called low poly, what are these called? They're just like low poly backgrounds. They have a name. They have a name. But I loved these types of images. And this is the image specifically that my entire design started with. I took this image specifically and I put it in, let's see here, color, adobe.com. I went to this site, which is done by Adobe, where you can add an image, download, let me see here, explore, trends, lab. Yeah, I don't know why that's new. It says new. You've always been able to do this. Oh, that's a recolor. You do this. Extract. Right here, go to color.adobe.com, go to extract theme, drag and drop a photo in, and this is exactly how I came up with my color palette, right here. And they even give you choices. So here's colorful, here's bright, muted, deep, dark, or you can drag these points around and come up with your own color palette. So this was the first step to come up with a color palette. Then I went to contrast checker. And I made sure I checked to see which of the colors in this palette met accessibility guidelines with white and black text. So that was before I even started designing. So I wasn't designing things where the text didn't meet contrast accessibility. And then I just went from there. I looked on Pinterest. I decided on a layout. I made a style guide. Here, I'll show you my style guide. Excellent advice. Thank you so much for the details. I'm definitely checking out Pinterest now. I use Obsidian already to store clips of sections I like on sites I visit. Excellent. That is an excellent practice. Pinterest is good too. Nice. I didn't know you could do that. I'm going to play with that too. And Go Elmo Go is saying that's very useful. Yeah, these are just like all little tricks that I've sort of come up with over the years because I've struggled with design. Like I could always write the code, I could do the layout, but I struggled with the design. And I got better at design the more I was actually coding. So the more experience I got, the better I got at design, especially when I was doing a lot of agency work where we had designers, because I was getting to code these really cool designs. And I was like, wow, I was like, remember this, Angela, this is such a good idea. And then, as I got really good at writing CSS to implement a particular design, then I would be in a situation where I was doing client work or just working on something for myself. And I was like, oh, remember that thing I did? I could do that here and I could use my own colors and I could like maybe tweak it this way and it would look really cool. So yeah, like I said, it just takes a lot of experience. My best advice is find an image that really inspires you, that you love the color. Pick your color palette. Then go to the WebAIM Million contrast checker and check black and white against your color palette so you know exactly what passes for accessibility. Then figure out a layout, find a layout that you like. Do not reinvent the wheel when you're doing a layout. Find a layout that works. Get that layout locked down, even if it's just low res boxes, gray boxes, and then start to implement and get your color palette in there. My last thing that I'm going to show you is before you even do a layout, consider just working on a style guide to help you get inspired. I do this every time I'm doing a brand new build. So I knew that what I wanted my logo to be, which was just my initials, and I had this font picked out. I just made, and I just made a style guide where I was like, here's what I want dark text on a white background to look like. Here's what I want white text on a dark background to look like. Here's what I want my images to look like. So just make a style guide. How do you want your buttons to look and function? This is just such a good way to play without the stress of just sitting down and instantly building the website. You have to go through these exercises before you can ever sit and build anything. And I do have a playlist. If you want to check out the playlist, I did all of this in a live stream. I did the project planning, I wrote user stories, I did the style guide, I did it all live about 6 months ago. So this is a process for me that is really, really important. And then once you do these things, like here's the thing, action builds momentum. Momentum is how you get inspired and motivated. Motivation, inspiration, those things don't just materialize out of thin air. They are the result of action and momentum. So try not to worry about not feeling instantly inspired with ideas. Just sit down and take action and let the momentum build. Let the momentum turn into motivation and inspiration. If you can do that, I think that'll help. It takes a long time to learn that though. And I'm going to digress just for a second here, because I do think that there's kind of a, I don't know, like a crush your goals hustle culture that makes us feel like if we're not operating at 110% at all times, we're somehow failing. It's just not how it works. You're not going to know exactly what to do every time you sit down and do something, and that is totally okay. I don't know how anybody knows exactly what to do every single time. You need experience, you need momentum. So just take action, embrace the fact that you're not sure what you're doing, let the creative process happen. Okay, I'll stop now. But this is such an excellent question, and thank you for posting this in the chat and asking me to talk about this, because I think it's really important, especially for new developers. I think it's really, really important to let you guys know that it just requires a lot of work and a lot of practice. So, okay, here we are. Hopefully I didn't lose you all. Okay, so here's what we're going to work on today. I do not have a hard stop today. I've got more time. So, and I think we're a little ahead of schedule. So I did a little reorganization here on my project board. I had 2 items. Let me change this here. I'm going to take myself off. I had 2 items that I upgraded. So XML sitemaps and restyling the unordered and ordered lists I had as low priorities. I moved these up to medium. I also changed subnav needs you are here. And what I mean by that is if we are on articles, so our you are here navigation, the articles has an active class to style it. But then if I click into an article, you can see here the URL is articles how to practice JavaScript, but this top level navigation item isn't active. So I did upgrade this. We really just need to modify our JavaScript to look at the URL and see articles and match it to the upper level in the navigation and add the class active. So we're not going to get to that today. I upgraded it because I think these 3 things are things that we can get done we can get done before July 1st. I'm actually going to downgrade image optimization strategy. I'm going to downgrade that because that is something that is going to require a little more research on my part. So GitHub action for deployment, subnav, you are here, XML sitemaps. Didn't ChatGPT give us an XML? Wait, didn't we do that last week? We did. We did. Hot dog, we can cross this off. Oh, automate XML sitemap with shell script, build tool, or node script. Okay, I should have looked at that. We can downgrade this. We can downgrade this. Let's change the title here. Automate XML sitemaps. Well, one less thing to do. Okay. This looks good. I like this. So today we're going to start with the most tedious thing, which is that we're going to go through and identify every single image and check the alt text and make sure that that is correct. Then we're going to ask ChatGPT about title tags and descriptions. I don't think that I am going to get every title tag and description written today, but we're going to ask about it. We're going to define a strategy and we're going to do a couple. And then I think this is something that I'll do offline. We're going to update the social media icons to include a link for X because I am on X now. And then really the priority is coming up with a header design for the About Me page. And we are going to look at Pinterest. We're going to look at Pinterest and look for header ideas. So, but let's start with alt text. So again, this is going to be tedious, but it's really, really important. So I'm just going to look for alt equals. Whoops. We're just going to look for everything. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Okay, so that one's okay. Front end is from hell. YouTube thumbnail. Yep, that one's okay. Unsplash a glass of wine. That's okay. A piece of carrot cake. That's okay. Yep, that one's okay. Got it. Okay, that's all right. Maybe I didn't do as bad at this as I thought. All right. The interior. All right, that's okay. That's all right. Yep, that's all right. All right, well, this is going a lot faster than I thought it would. Oh yeah, this is projects, ocean, blog, static website. That one is, oh yeah, these are, went a little too quick here. All right. So this is the projects page. So this is, so we probably want to say screenshot of project portfolio website. Screenshot of the ocean static website. Style guide. Screenshot of style guide for project planning. Screenshot of front-end mentor with product cart website. Maybe demo site. Blog layout with category filter. Screenshot of blog layout with a category filter. See, I knew there was a bunch I missed. Screenshot of a masonry layout. Screenshot of modal window demo site. Screenshot of a landing page website. All right. Yeah, that one's okay. Oh, and this is a snippet, so I'm not worried about these. This is also a snippet that we're not using. That's okay. That's okay. And that's okay. Yeah, I actually think that I think it would be good to do this again as a post-launch. Double check. I'm going to put this on the post-launch checklist. Look at us getting stuff done. All right. All right, we can check this off. It is done. And then let's add it to our post-launch checklist. check all image alt text. Okay, let's go ahead and add our social media icon for X, and I'm going to get this directly from X. Just get it right from the source. Nothing wrong with that. So right here, I'm just going to go right here, copy element, and then let's save this as an SVG. And this is just going to be X SVG. And then we can check this. Let's see, can we format this? We can check this in the browser. The way I like to check is just like this. Oh, look at that. It's not. Oh, it's because does it just need a fill? I hope so. Oh. The number of times that I have gotten an SVG directly from the site. What's wrong with my SVG? We're missing a width and a height. All right, come on. You're making me look bad, X. Let's do this. I have gotten the X SVG directly from the X site more times than I can count. Okay, hang on. I'm just going to go get it where I got it last time. Gosh darn it. Oh, it doesn't have, hang on. Doesn't have this. And yeah, let's remove these classes. We don't need these. Still not showing up, huh? Hmm. Did I not save it? I don't know why I'm having so much trouble with this. Well, let's go back and see. No, this is, I don't think there's anything. I don't think this is correct, the correct information. You can absolutely look at your SVGs in the browser. That is how it works. Here's how I know that works. You can always open your SVGs in the browser, always. Should be able to see it right here. That's a good point. Let's open this in Affinity and see if we can see it. look at that. I can open it in Affinity. Let's just resave it. I think we can. Clip canvas. I don't like all this white space around it. Oh, now it's super pixelated. Well, it's already an SVG, so why do I need to export it? Oh, because it's Affinity Photo. Let's see what happens. There we go. Okay, now it's working. I have no idea what the issue was. So let's go look at this. Oh, stop. Just close. Save. Oh, you know what? Actually, don't. Just close. Okay. So now we have our X. That was weird. That was weird because normally you do not need to do all of that. So, and you know what? We don't need this. This is still okay. So here is our SVG now. Oof, that was a lot. That was dramatic. All right, let's get this down into our footer. I'm gonna put it right here. Oh, beautiful. Look at that. Let's make sure the link is up to date. I think I need to put in the backlog. I don't think this hover color is accessible. Okay. SVG is working. So if you ever grab an SVG from a website, like a social media website, and it's not working, I would recommend just putting it in. I use Affinity Pro. I used to use Photoshop. Now I use Affinity Pro. Use whatever design tool of your choice is, pop it in, and then resave it as an SVG. That worked in this situation. I have many, many times grabbed an SVG directly from the source, and I've never experienced what I just experienced. So, of course, that happened in a live stream. Okay, SVG is working. So let's ask an accessibility question. Regarding accessibility, does the hover state of an icon, I feel like I already know the answer to this question, but I'm just going to confirm. Does the hover state of an icon also need to have AA or AAA contrast? And yes, hover states for interactive SVG icons absolutely need to meet WCAG contrast guidelines if they convey meaning or trigger an action. So they're already white. What would the hover state be? Let's confirm. Let's go to the contrast checker and just confirm that this doesn't meet. So the foreground is so if we're hovering on the anchor, the link, the SVG is this color. So this is the foreground color. This dark blue. And then the background color is, I wonder if it'll tell us. No, it's not giving us an accessibility. The background color of the footer is this. I think I know the answer to this question. I think I have always known the answer to this question. Yeah. So if we're looking at, let's just pull up our style guide again, because that had our color palette. So let's just I wonder if maybe this yellow would work. Let's try it. Boom. That works. So we would go from a hover state of white to yellow. And it meets the AA standard for graphical objects and user interface components. So let's just update that now to make sure we're accessible. So here is the focus. So the fill, I just darkened it by 10%. So I know that that yellow variable is just called yellow. What? Oh, do I not have, hang on, we're not doing our watch SAS. All right, I can live with that. I can live with that. All right. Nice. So we'll cross this off the list. It was kind of dramatic, but we got it done. Oh, let's actually test the link, shall we? All right. There we go. What's next? Oh, did I? Done. There we go. Okay. So next, let's ask ChatGPT for some advice on title tags and descriptions. And the title tag and the description, if you're not sure what I'm talking about, and I think that as front-end developers, especially if you're planning to do any freelancing, this is the minimum amount when it comes to SEO experience that I think you need to have. SEO is a huge job. Huge job. Title tag, let's see if I can make this a little bigger here. Title tag and description. Every page needs to have a title tag and description. So this is the title right now here when I hover over this tab. The meta description is what Google will generally, not always, but if you do it right, generally most of the time is what Google will use as the description in search. It tells Google what the page is about, what's happening on this page. And there is a science to title tags and descriptions, but I also don't think we need to overthink it. So let's see what kind of advice. Got it. Thanks. Okay. Now let's move on to title tags and meta descriptions. Can you tell me some, I don't know, I hate using words like simple and easy. Can you tell me some best practices for good title tags and descriptions without getting too much into the weeds? Here's a quick no fluff guide to writing solid title tags and meta descriptions that actually do their job. Oh, excuse me. What shows up as the clickable headline in search results? Keep it under 60 characters. Google cuts off longer ones. Front load important keywords, especially the page topic or brand. Be clear, not clever. Clarity beats wordplay in SEO. Make it unique for each page. Avoid keyword stuffing. Example, responsive product grid with vanilla JavaScript. Angela Holden. Meta description best practices. What shows up under the title and search results? Aim for 150 to 160 characters. Summarize the page in plain language, like you're describing it to a friend. Include a call to action if it makes sense, like watch now or see the code. Use keywords naturally, but don't overdo it. Again, make it unique per page. Example, build a fully responsive product list using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript based on a real front-end mentor challenge. No frameworks, just clean code. Bonus tips. Think of your title and description as a mini ad for your page. Pretend someone only sees that snippet. Would they want to click? If you don't set them yourself, Google will, and the results might be weird. Okay, so let's do a couple. Let's close this. So how many pages do we even have? Gosh. So we've got a 404 page, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, including our home page. And then in our articles, we've got 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we have 15 total pages. So let's start with some easy pages. Easy in air quotes. Like these pages down at the bottom. So accessibility statements. So right now my title is let's get some feedback on what we've already done. This is my title for a page called Accessibility Statement. I hate it when ChatGPT makes me choose my response. I'm just going to pick one. Oh, I'll pick the longer one. Okay. Clear, that title is solid, clean, descriptive, and professional, but here's a quick breakdown and a few options if you want to tweak or tighten it. What's good? Clear and immediately tells users what the page is. Includes your name and branding. Uses a proper separator, which is a pipe, no keyword stuffing. Minor refinement ideas. Shorter version if you want it tighter. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Get rid of the software engineer, front-end developer, just my name. Slightly more descriptive if this is a formal legal compliance page. Focus on your audience if the page is more personal or narrative. Only use something like option 3 if the page is more than just a compliance statement. For example, if you're talking about your philosophy or practices as a developer. Let's just, you tell me if you think that this is more narrative driven. Here's the text of the page. Perfect. Based on that, here's a solid meta description that matches the tone and keeps it under 160 characters. Okay, so it's giving me descriptions. Sure, but what about... Okay, so it's saying to do option one. So we're going to update all of the titles. We're going to update all of the titles to just be a little more trimmed. I like it. And then let's go back and look at... We'll go back and look at the description. Okay, perfect. That's a great foundation. It's clear, honest, and human. Based on that, here's a solid meta description that matches the tone and keeps it under 160 characters. So description, this site follows WCAG 2.1 AA guidelines and is built with accessibility in mind. Feedback is welcome as improvements continue. Alternative options, just in case it fits your voice better. I'm committed to building an accessible website that follows WCAG 2.1 AA guidelines. Feedback is always welcome. Direct and confident. This site meets WCAG 2.1 AA accessibility standards and is designed for everyone. Let me know if you run into any issues. More technical or dev facing. Built with semantic HTML, strong color contrast, and keyboard support, this site follows WCAG 2.1 accessibility guidelines. I like this one. I like this one. So now we can see, here's our title, and here's our meta description. I love it. I love it. Let's keep going. Yeah, I want to keep going. I'm going to do, well, let's ask about a 404 page. So I think for titles, we can just get rid of this part and just stick with this. And let's ask. Well, hang on, let's look at the text of the page. Let's go to 404. So to test 404, you could just do 404. That works. Oh, we need to update the URL here. The other thing that you could do, where's that image? Did I get rid of that image? Shoot. Gosh darn it, another image that I accidentally deleted. Why did I do that? Hang on, I have this image here, I think. Okay. All right, there we go. So here's the only text I really have on this page. I'm just going to add that as the description. Can't we escape this? There we go. Heidi couldn't find this page either. If you have any questions, please reach out through the contact form. I guess. All right. Optional tweak. Okay, so can I include links in my meta descriptions? Nope. That's what I thought. All right, so I'm just going to leave this. I'm just going to leave this. Okay. So here's how you would test a 404 page. So here's our title. Here's our meta description. And another way to test the 404 page is to just put in, you know, anything. Whoops, it's not working. Yeah, I know it's a 404. You should just automatically be... Boy, everything is blowing up in my face today. You should be able to put in... These should be redirecting to 404. That's the whole point of the page, if it's wrong. The requested, yeah. Additionally, a 404 not found error was encountered while trying to use an error document to handle a request. Maybe this is a MAMP thing. Let's check the staging server. The whole point of a 404 page is that if there's the wrong URL, it goes to the freaking 404. So it's working here. It's working on the server. Maybe this is just and this image will be fixed when we push our latest changes. That's the whole point of a 404. Yeah, so it's working on the server. This could just be a local environment thing. I don't know. Okay, so let's add this to our post-launch checklist. Oh yeah, check 404 pages that a wrong URL correctly redirects to 404. It's already on the list. Good. Okay. 404 done. We're going to do about last when we actually work on the about page. Accessibility, articles. Let's just grab this top level articles page. Yeah, I need help. Okay. Okay. I have an articles page with a grid of blog articles. It's an archive page. Not a ton of content, but has images and article snippets or excerpts. What do you suggest? Perfect. For an articles archive page, you want a meta title and description that are clear, inviting, and keyword friendly without overpromising. Okay, that's a title. Add a hint of topic or role. Dev articles and tutorials, more descriptive. Front-end development articles and project walkthroughs. I kind of like the first one. Description. Explore articles on front-end development, UI design, and real project builds, updated regularly with tutorials, tips, and live coded examples. A collection of dev articles and project breakdowns focused on real builds, clean code, and a no framework front-end workflow. If you want to emphasize your style, browse my front-end articles and code walkthroughs built with HTML, SCSS, and vanilla JavaScript. No fluff, just real projects and lessons learned. So I have categories, which are PDFs, lifestyle, tips, advice, and tutorials. I have a category filter for tutorials, tips and advice, lifestyle content, and free PDF handouts. Tutorials, tips, and free resources. I like that. Although I also like articles and resources since the page is called articles. So I think I'm going to go with that. Okay, explore tutorials, dev tips, lifestyle posts, and free handouts. All articles are written with clarity, creativity, and real-world experience. From coding tutorials and tech tips to lifestyle posts and free PDF handouts. This archive is a mix of everything I create and share. I like that. Browse a curated mix of front-end tutorials, dev advice, lifestyle content, and free downloadable resources. Filter by category and dig in. I like that too. Let's start with this. Hopefully you guys can see why this is important, why this is kind of a big deal when you're building your own website, or if you're freelancing and you're doing client work. If you're not working with an SEO specialist, if you've been hired to do everything, I have to tell you, there is an expectation that you should be doing the bare minimum of SEO with titles and descriptions. At the very least, you should be educating your clients on how to do it. Because if your clients are going to pay you thousands of dollars or perhaps tens of thousands of dollars to redesign and build their website, maybe even keep you on post-deployment for maintenance, what's the marketing plan for getting this site seen? Is it to get found in search? I would say most of the time people want to get found in search, and certainly you can't promise that. You can never promise that somebody's going to get found in search, but you can make sure that you understand what it takes to do the bare minimum of title tags and descriptions. to make sure that you're doing the bare minimum, right? This is an important part of any website, to make sure that you have good titles and descriptions. And with ChatGPT nowadays, there's really no excuse. There's really no excuse. And if you're working on a big site with lots and lots of pages, I don't think, unless you're paying for it, unless it's part of your scope of work and you've negotiated a fair price to do this, I don't exactly think that this is all your responsibility. I do think, though, that you could teach your clients how to do this. You could teach them how to do it if they're not going to pay you to do it. I'm going to go with this one. But certainly, if you're working on your own website, I think you should be doing this for yourself. I really, really do. And if you think that you are not going to be found in search, what's the saying? That you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. I think that's a Wayne Gretzky quote, requoted by Michael Scott, which basically means that if you think that you have no chance of being found in search, so you're not even going to do this to begin with. I mean, how do you know? I mean, you're obviously not going to be now if you don't do it to begin with. Don't underestimate the power of search. Don't underestimate the power of search and what clients will do to look for somebody that looks credible and that they feel like they can trust. That's huge. All right, articles and resources. There's our title tag. And here is our meta description. I love it. I love it. Here's our contact page. Here's the text for my contact page. I'm going to stick with contact. So, got a question or opportunity, reach out using the form. I check messages regularly and I'm always open to meaningful conversations. Have a question or idea, send a message. I check my inbox often and always welcome thoughtful, direct conversations. Prospective client or employer, let's connect. No, I want to go with number 2, more personal and casual. All right, looks good. Oh, you know what else we should do? Let's put this in the backlog. Schema. Schema.org. Yeah. Schema. Schema data. Need to research and implement schema.org data/JSON. It's another way to sort of tag your pages so search engines know. I'm going to say that this is medium priority, but I'm not going to give it a date. But I do think this is a priority. So we'll stick it right there. I'm glad I thought of that. Okay. Let's actually do the home page. Yeah. Love it. Let's work on the homepage. Okay. I wonder if I can I give it a URL? Nice. Okay. I didn't used to be ChatGPT couldn't do this a year ago, but I seem to remember somebody telling me that they could put in a URL. So, okay, I checked out the portfolio homepage. It looks sharp and does a great job showcasing your skills, experience, and personality. Here's how I'd optimize your title and meta description for clarity, SEO, and professionalism. So I think this is what I'm already doing for the homepage. Software engineer and front-end developer. So it's doing it the other way around. That makes sense. Includes your name and key roles, clean, no fluff. At about 60 characters, it's unlikely to get cut off. Highlight what makes you stand out. Experience, live streams, mentoring, accessibility. Front-end developer and software engineer in Minneapolis, well, really St. Paul, building accessible, responsive UIs, mentoring junior devs, live streaming code, and driving front-end best practices. Breakdown, who you are and where. Minneapolis for local relevance. What you do, accessible UIs, mentoring, live streaming. Why it matters, your work supports best practices and team growth. Optional snippet for page intro. To tie it to your homepage content, consider adding a succinct hero line. Hi, I'm Angela. I build accessible, responsive front-end experiences, mentor junior developers, and live stream my coding process. What do I have now? Oh, so maybe update this. We can do that. Let's see here. This is my current hero snippet, but I'm open to changing it. Is that what you're suggesting? Yes. So, hi, I'm Angela Holden. I build accessible, responsive web apps and share the process through live streams, tutorials, and mentorship. I build fast, accessible front ends with semantic HTML, SCSS, and vanilla JavaScript designed to work on any device. So, what was the... I kind of like I think I like the second one. Wait a second. This one, option 3. All right. Let's do it. I didn't love this to begin with, so I'm completely fine changing this. But not that comma. Too many commas. Okay, and then what were the... Okay, so... Okay, I'm using option number 3. Based on that, what's the best meta description? Hi, I'm Angela Holden, a front-end developer building accessible, responsive web apps and sharing the process through live streams, tutorials, and mentorship. A couple optional variants. Angela Holden is a Minneapolis-based front-end developer building accessible, responsive web apps while teaching and live streaming the process. Hi, I'm Angela Holden. I build accessible, responsive websites and share the process through live streams, tutorials, and developer mentorship. I do kind of like this one. I don't like third person. Not a fan of third person. I think we have to escape this. Yeah, I like it. Too many commas, though. Too many commas. Okay. Nice. All right, so I think we also need to do... So we did the 404 page, accessibility, articles, contact. I think we should do projects next. And then I think after projects, I'm going to do the rest myself offline. I need to do titles and descriptions for each of the articles. And I need to do terms and conditions, the thank you page. I'm not sure about the thank you page because I think the thank you page should actually be no index, no follow. I don't think we would want the thank you page to show up in search. I need to do the sitemap, the privacy policy. Yeah, I can do all of those offline. So let's just do the project page and then we'll be done. We'll move on. Because this can be a little tedious, but I encourage everybody to do this exercise. I think it's really important. So, okay, projects. Okay, now my projects page. This is a grid of projects, all completed during live streams. Each project is linked to a YouTube playlist, a GitHub repository, and the Heroku staging link dev site. Projects, live coded front end projects. I'm just going to go with projects. Explore a growing collection of front end projects, all built live on stream with full code, GitHub repos, and working dev sites. Recommended. Casual and personal. Every project here was built on live stream. View the code, visit the dev sites, or watch the full build process on YouTube. Slightly more SEO friendly. Browse front-end projects built with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. each with live streamed builds, GitHub code, and working demos. Ah, I like 2 and 3. Yeah, I'm going to do number 2. Stop. There we go. So here's what I want to know next. So this page, and this is just occurring to me, doesn't have any actual content, right? How does Google treat a meta description, like literally words that don't appear on the page? So let's see if I can ask this question a little better. Okay, I'm going with option 2. How does Google treat a page without content, a grid of projects, titles, and links, but no real content? Does it trust the meta description? Great question, and important for how your project page performs in search. Here's how Google handles a page like that. If the page has just a grid of links, images, and project titles, no real paragraph text, content, or semantic HTML, then Google sees it as thin content, not necessarily bad, but not strong enough to rank for anything meaningful. Does Google trust the meta description? Not exactly. The meta description helps control how your snippet looks in search results, but only if Google chooses to use it. If the page lacks crawlable or relevant content, Google may ignore your meta description and try to generate one from what's on the page. If there's nothing substantial, it may not show a description at all, or it could pull random text from the page, even alt text, headings, or unrelated labels. What you should do, write a short intro paragraph. You don't need to write walls of text, but you should give Google and visitors just a little more to work with. These are front-end projects I built live on stream with full access to the source code, working demos, and YouTube build playlists. Every project is made with HTML, SCSS, and JavaScript. No frameworks, just clean, accessible code. Okay, so wrap each project in an article. We did that. Use H2 or H3 for project titles. I think we did H2s. Yep, all of our titles are H2s. Use meaningful alt text for thumbnails. We did that. Optional, add short 1 to 2 sentence descriptions for each project. I mean, we could definitely do that because I updated the descriptions for all the playlists. Could I use the descriptions for the YouTube playlists as text for each project? Yes. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Here's our playlists. So let's start with this. Okay, so now that I'm thinking about this, I don't know if my grid really going to be able to support okay, let's just try it. See, this is like more reason why I need to sort of redesign this page. I'm not sure this page really works, but let's just throw a little bit of text in there, see how it looks, see if we need to do any additional styles. So this is this right here. So if we go right under the H2 and just put in a paragraph, and we may not need all of this. How does this look? Oh. Okay, so can we tighten this up a little bit? Just creating more work for myself. That's okay. That's okay. We're doing okay. Okay, so we don't have any paragraphs specific to this page, so that's actually good. So let's say that we tighten up the line height, 1.25, to 1.5. Font size, I don't want to make it too small, 0.9 rems. That's too small. 0.95. 1 rem. Oh, my desktop font size is 1.25. I did not remember that. And my mobile is 1. So we'll just do 1 rem. We'll just do 1 rem. Yeah, that helps actually. This is a simple, clean blog site built with HTML, CSS, actually SCSS, and vanilla JavaScript. It's based on a Photoshop mockup called Ocean, personal blog template for travelers and dreamers, purchased from Envato Theme Forest. I like this. I like this. Okay, yes, we're going to add descriptions. So let's quickly style a p tag in project content, like 2 simple styles. Grid projects. Project content. So font size, we're just going to do font size 1 rem. We're going to skip the clamp, and then we're going to change the line height to 1.5. Yeah, oh, line, wait a second. Do we think that's enough line height? What's the default style? The default value? 2. I'm going to go 1.65. All right, we're going to add a paragraph up here for a description, and we're going to add descriptions to each of these cards. I mean, in hindsight, that makes sense. Yeah, in hindsight, that makes sense because we want Google to trust that meta description. If there's no content on the page, And I did update all of these. I did update these descriptions, so they all have descriptions. I love it. This is what this page needed. It just needed content. This is what the page needed. Let's put like a little separator. Let's put like, what if I just put an HR here? Can I get away with that? A horizontal rule? Let's just put a little separator there. It doesn't need to be an HR. We can just style something. So beneath this paragraph, let's just do like padding. We'll do padding 1 rem. Or wait a second, we have to do it on the bottom. So we'll do 0, 0, and then we'll do margin 0, 0, 1 rem. And then let's do border bottom 2 pixels dotted gray. Stay with our dots theme. Where are you? Oh, border bottom. Oh, gosh darn it. I like it. I don't think we need as much margin. Let's make this a little bigger so we can see it. How much do you want to bet we don't need any margin? Too big, and we do need some margin. Subtle. Subtle is the name of the game. Beautiful. I love it. I love it. This is what this page needed. I feel so much less urgency to redesign this page now. Do you see how things come together? This is how things come together. You have to jump in, embrace the creative process, ask questions, use resources like ChatGPT. Hopefully you can also see that ChatGPT isn't going to take over anybody's job anytime soon. It's a tool, it's a resource. It's very powerful, very powerful. But you are the architect. You are the architect. Style guide. Oh, we already did this one. Style guide right here. So I'm actually going to say in this project. So in this project, we dive into the early stages of front-end project planning. Watch as we write user stories to define project goals and build a custom style guide using Affinity Photo. These videos lay the groundwork for strong, focused UI development. Love it. Okay, so the next one is front-end mentor. This one's got a lot of emojis, so we'll do a little editing here. Okay. Join me as I tackle a fun front-end mentor challenge where I'll build a product list with an interactive shopping cart from scratch. We'll dive into HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to create a clean, responsive layout. And I'll walk you through adding key features like item quantities, total pricing, and cart updates. And let's fix this punctuation. And as much as I love a good emoji, okay, what's next? Blog layout with category filter. Follow along as I build a responsive blog style layout from a Photoshop mockup using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. In this series, I cover key steps from design setup to clean, accessible code, perfect for anyone looking to sharpen their front end skills. Let's bring this layout to life together. I'm going to skip that last sentence. All right, build a Pinterest masonry layout. In this two-part live stream series, watch as I walk through the step-by-step process of building a responsive masonry layout using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. From setting up the structure to creating a dynamic Pinterest-style grid, you'll learn how to create a beautiful and functional layout that adapts to different screen sizes. Perfect for developers looking to enhance their web design skills. I don't like this less. You can tell I got help from ChatGPT writing these descriptions a long time ago, and it's very ChatGPT-y sounding. It's very marketing sounding, and I might go back and update those again because I tend to ask it to change the tone. I don't love things that sound like that anymore, but I'm not going to worry about that today. Okay, build a modal window. Okay, want to learn how to create a slick, responsive modal window? No. In this live stream series, we'll break it down step by step we'll break down building a modal window step by step using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. From the basic structure to styling and adding interactive features, you'll have everything you need to create your own custom modals. Let's skip the exclamation point. Yeah, I could see myself rewriting these. Building, I think this is the last one. Okay. So we'll need a little editing, but we're just about done. In this project, we're turning a Photoshop mockup into a fully functional landing page called Soho using HTML, vanilla JavaScript, vanilla CSS, and JavaScript. Over the course of 8 live streams, Eight, oh, yeah, you don't use numbers till you're greater than 10. Over the course of 8 live streams, we dive deep into creating a page that's responsive, accessible, and packed with smooth navigation and submenus. We spent 4 videos perfecting them. All right, let's see how it looks. I mean, I'm not saying this page couldn't be redesigned, but I feel a lot less anxious about needing to redesign it. I'm actually thinking that maybe this grid could just be 2 across. Yeah. Yeah. Instead of, so right now, come on. So instead of divided by 3, maybe we divide by 2. And I'm on a big screen. I'm on a 27-inch monitor, so it would probably be, this would look more accurate. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to change the grid. So I think we probably aren't going to need all of our media queries from yesterday. So that's desktop. And then I'm going to say we don't need this media query. And then we also just change this to 2. Let's see. So instead of 600, let's do 768. Oh, and our, why isn't this working? Our images should be, they're not covering. Why aren't our images covering? Oh, because I have a max width? Why do I have a max width on that? I don't know. Okay, we'll take that off. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. I don't know. Yeah, I love this. This is so much cleaner, clearer, less chaotic. We have a description, so you're not just looking at a screenshot and a title. Love it. Love it. This makes me so much more confident about this page. Love it. I'm telling you, embrace the creative process. Don't worry about having everything planned out ahead of time. I guarantee you it's going to change. It's going to change. Over here. I love it. Ugh, this makes me okay. So now let's put in a paragraph for this page. If your playlist description says a full walkthrough of the front end mentor product list, okay, I'm not going to worry about. I don't need help with this. Okay, these are front end projects I built on livestream with full access to the source code, working demos, and YouTube build playlists. Every project is made with HTML, SCSS, should be CSS, SCSS, and JavaScript. No frameworks, just clean, accessible code. So let's add this. So let's, we can tweak this a little bit. So we just want to style the P tag within the content header. See, this is why we use good semantic class names. It makes it easy to style. So we'll do content header, paragraph. I'm going to do max width of what's the ideal length? 80 characters. And then we'll do the dreaded text align center, which I generally don't like, but is totally appropriate in many situations. And then we have to do margin 0 auto, which somebody tried to convince me once was a hack, and I don't agree. And then let's give it actually a little bit of margin on the bottom. Maybe 2 rems. What do we think? And now this paragraph is getting all of those clamp styles. So this should be nice and accessible. Look at that. I do think we could tighten up this line height a little bit. I know why I did that line height. It was because of the blog posts. I don't usually do 2 for line height, but I'm going to add it here. Let's try 1.75. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Gosh, this makes me happy. This makes me happy. Now the user has an explanation of what this project is. I feel like this title could use a little bit of adjusting. Yeah, it needs a little. Grid projects secondary heading. Yeah, so it just comes down, so it's not perfectly aligned up at the top of this little treatment. It just pushes it down a tiny little bit. Beautiful. Okay, we have to stop messing with this page now, but I am very, very happy with this. I think I've mentioned that a couple of times. Okay, so we have our title tag, our description. Each of the projects has a description, plus we have an intro paragraph on the page. Done and done. All projects have a description, and I added the suggested intro text. So I am kind of wondering now if we should add, because all of these articles, I basically grabbed the first sentence from each article as an excerpt or descriptor. Wondering if we also want to do an intro paragraph. Do we also need an intro paragraph for the articles archive page? Each article has an excerpt, the first sentence from each article already. Yes. Okay, this is the full archive of everything I've written. Coding tutorials, tech advice, lifestyle content, and the occasional free PDF handout. Whether you're looking for front-end tips or just curious what I've been up to, there's something here for you. I don't like this. This to me is like, this is how you know ChatGPT wrote it. More minimal. Articles on front-end development, project planning, creative process, and more. Filter by category to find what you need. I do like the first one. This is the full archive of everything I've written. Coding tutorials, tech advice, lifestyle content, and the occasional free PDF handout. I want to do this sentence and the last sentence here. That's what I'm going to do. And we're going to have to add some styles. Oh, look at that. Oh, you want to know why I did that? I'll take credit for that because I was consistent with my class names. That's why that worked that way. You guys were doing it. We are doing it. We did it together. We did it together. Look at that. Okay, so let's see where we're at here. So I'm not going to complete this one yet because I need to go through and do this for all of the pages. And I think I can do that offline. I think you guys get a good idea of how to do that and how I'm leveraging ChatGPT for help with that. Yeah, and these were just big wins today. Just huge wins today for SEO, and yeah, just really, really happy. So, I think I am actually going to call it quits here for today. I was hoping to work on the header. I mean, maybe we could let's look at Pinterest and see if we can just get some inspiration for the header real quick here. So that means then I think the GitHub project repos need a README. This is something I can do offline. The post-launch checklist, we are literally going to do post-launch together. So I'm going to do these two things offline before next weekend, which means then next weekend we're going to do the header and the experience, and I'm going to save the content for the following day. Let's see here. So here's the about me. I'm actually completely fine with this experience and skills. So why did I even have that on there? About me experience. Oh, it's because this section needs styling and design inspiration. The layout isn't really working. We also need to decide what the CTA does. So it's not this is experience and skills, professional experience. Let's specify that a little more. About me, professional experience. Because I like this section right here. It's really this section that needs to be improved. I don't think we need this find me on YouTube section at all. Maybe, but I don't think so. I think that I need to come up with a content idea, and then generally once I have content, I can think of a layout, but it's usually pretty difficult for me to come up with a layout first without having any content. But I would say this page is about at the 50% mark. So let's look at Pinterest for some header ideas. So let's just do website. Let's do website hero design. Not hero, maybe header. Website header design. Ooh, what's this? 116 header designs. I mean, technically I have a header, I guess. I mean, am I going to put a big picture of am I going to put it, well, see, I already have a big picture of myself here, right? Am I overthinking this? Should it just be like this? I don't know. What about this? Maybe we should just do about me website design ideas. I'm seeing a lot of the same things pop up. This is kind of making me feel like we should just do this. Let's just try it really quick. It'd be easy. So let's look at, this is the projects. Okay, maybe we could do this. This would still make it unique if we put it up against this. Let's just change the color. Maybe that's all the uniqueness I really needed. It's still kind of the same but different. Oh, and I'm borrowing the... Clearly I borrowed this from the contact page. And I don't think I have a dedicated about style sheet. Where contact me. Oh, it's in forms. Yeah, we're gonna have to do some CSS refactoring. Okay, so let's just start an about. So let's go to forms. Content header. So I'm going to borrow this. I also need to borrow this. This was a poor choice. I don't know. I'm not really sure why I did this way. Okay. There is some refactoring in our future. Okay, so I'm going to do section. I guess I'm going to do about header. About header. Content header. Primary heading. Okay, we lost some other styles here. Yeah, we definitely need to do some CSS refactoring. Okay. Now we can change these colors. I think we also need to, so on the home page, I put a filter over top of this to make sure that this was accessible. Let's do that on this also, which is just a gradient right here. So top banner hero, let's go grab that. And we can combine all of this. And that's going to make that text a lot more accessible. There. Can you see the difference? I like it. I like it. I am going to have to sit with it for, I'm going to have to sit with it for maybe a week or so. But I do like it. It's in line with all the other styles. I think on mobile, want the I want this to not be centered. So maybe once we get down to like 600, let's just pop a media query in and see what happens. So so this is text align center. It's defined in another area, but I'm going to put it in here. And then I think we can just do this. At media, max width, 600 pixels. Text align left. This makes me think that I might want to do this on all of them. Should we do a drop cap for all of the all of these descriptions? I mean, I did it here, right? Let's do it. Let's do it. So let's just take this over. So where is I don't need this anymore. Let's actually just pull, we had to pull those styles right out of grid projects because this is now officially kind of a global style. Put it right here. So we need this because we need it to be white specifically there. But we can put this in here. And then well, we do technically need this here because we need to change the color. So I'll leave this in here, but I'm also going to put it here. And then the color by default is going to be navy. Need this twice. Why aren't you centering? Oh, last of type. Really? What? Oh. No, I really only like it here. That was a fun little experiment. But I will change the justification on mobile. I do still need that, huh? And on mobile, it is justified to the left. Maybe it shouldn't be. All right. Well, I guess it's justified. Or I guess it's centered for mobile. I don't like centering text, but sometimes it makes sense. All right, well, this is our header for the About Me page. I do like it. I just needed something that was slightly unique, but still in line with the branding, but not the same as every single page. And this is definitely still in line with the branding. I'm confident about the accessibility and the contrast because we put a filter over top of it. It's a little unique because we have the drop cap. So yeah, I'm down with this. I'm checking this off the list, which is not to say that it's never redesigned or changed or updated in the future. It's done. It's done for the sake of getting this site launched because perfect is the enemy of done. Hey, come on, done. Perfect is the enemy of done. Your website should always be a work in progress. You should always be working on it. So I'm going to work on readmes for the repos. I'm going to finish the descriptions offline before next weekend. And then we really just need to focus all of next weekend on everything below this point. What is going to happen? I like the header. I like this experience and skills. I might go through this and read this content again, but I like the experience and skills. I like the functionality, the animation where it comes in from the sides. We just need to figure out everything below that. So this page is like 50% done. Let's get this deployed. Let's see. We also need to do a walkthrough on mobile. We can do that. We're going to do that next weekend. And we will address any issues that we need to. Wow, we did a lot today. We maybe should have done a few more commits. Added titles and descriptions. Worked on headers. Added X icon. Worked on projects and grid. That's enough. Wow, we got a lot done today. We've only been doing this for like 2.5 hours. Look at everything we got done today. This is incredible. This is an incredible amount of work. Really, really pleased with this. Oh, we should actually update this text. Okay, let's do that. Let's update the text. Okay, everything is looking great. What do you suggest for intro text on the About Me page? Set the tone, who you are, what drives you, and what people can expect from the rest of the page. Be authentic, confident, and human, especially since the rest of your site already strikes that balance. Suggested intro. I'm Angela Holden, a front-end developer, software engineer, and live streamer based in Minneapolis. After more than a decade working on everything from small business websites to large-scale university systems, I've learned that clear, accessible code is just the beginning. I care deeply about good design, inclusive experiences, and sharing what I know. A little more casual. Hi, I'm Angela, a software engineer and front-end dev with a passion for accessible UI, clean code, and real-time builds. I've spent over a decade writing code, mentoring devs, and solving real problems across a wide range of projects. These days, I'm focused on teaching, streaming, and creating tools and content that help others grow. Let's go with this for now. Let's go with this for now. This is something I definitely need to sit with, and I will most likely write myself in my own words, but I do need a little inspiration. So we're going to go with this for now. This looks weird. Not going to change it for now because this is just motivating me to rewrite this intro text myself. But I'm going to stick with it for now. So let's also commit this. I like it. Okay, let's see if this is deployed. Not quite. There we go. Yeah, really, really loving this. Gotta love the creative process, man. Gotta love it. This just looks so much clearer. So much clearer. So much easier to like take in and digest and understand what these projects are. Wow. This was a great day. This was such a good, productive day. Let's move into these over into the ready for development. So next weekend, yeah, I feel very good about what we're going to get done next weekend. It would be great if we could finish the second part of the About Me page on Saturday, and then we could actually on Sunday. I think the GitHub action for deployment, that's something that I need to do offline. The post-launch checklist, we're going to do let's see, let's look at the calendar. So July 1st is a Tuesday. I could do a stream during the day on Tuesday. I have something in the evening, but I think I will plan. It just depends. I might be able to deploy on Monday or Tuesday, but I think I have plans on Monday. So I think maybe I should just plan to deploy on July 1st. And I could do a stream and do the post-launch checklist on deployment day. I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. So as long as we can get the rest of our stuff done, so as long as we can finish, if I can finish the README and the descriptions this week, we can finish the content next weekend. And then we should have time to also dig into the subnav you are here and restyle the unordered and ordered lists. I will do the GitHub. Honestly, if I don't get the GitHub action done, I will just write an rsync to get this deployed up to DigitalOcean, but I will try to get the GitHub action done regardless. We can go ahead and deploy on July 1st. And then I think I'm going to do a dedicated stream to a post-launch checklist. That's the plan. Love it. Love, love, love it. And then we have tasks and QA items in the backlog. I like to, with my site, when I'm being really active with my site, and I used to do this all the time, I would take time every week. I would take a couple hours, or I would pick one morning every week, and I would just work on my site. I just had a list of things that I knew I wanted to work on, and then I would work on them. That's a really good habit to get into. And then as you work on things, you notice something like, oh, we need to fix that, or we need to change that, or I need to address that, or I want to rethink that. Just add it to your list. And then that way, you're keeping things fresh. You're keeping things updated. That is how it should be. That is how it should be. Do not worry about making it perfect in order to deploy it. That is the wrong way to look at it. Just just in my experience. It's the wrong way to look at it. Prioritize what absolutely has to be done in order to deploy your site and what can go into the backlog. I do like this header. I really do like this header. I just need to rewrite this text. And that is just fine. I love it. All right, I guess this is it for today. Thank you to everybody who joined me. We had a little traction in the beginning, but it was kind of a quiet day. That's totally fine. Appreciate everybody who tunes in. If you're new here, or if you're not new here, make sure you like the video. That helps get it pushed out to more developers who might like this type of content. If you're not subscribed yet, I would appreciate it so much if you would subscribe. It helps me out. I'm trying to grow the channel, get to 1,000 subscribers this summer. I think that is totally doable. I love making content like this. I love sharing my process. I love showing people how I work. I love answering questions. Front-end developer with 12 years of experience. I've worked for large organizations. I've worked for agencies. I've been a freelancer, a contractor. I've done a little bit of everything. I have a lot of experience working with clients. And I love sharing what I've learned over the years. So I hope that you will subscribe and stick around. In the meantime, have a great week. Have a great rest of your day wherever you are. I will see you back here next weekend, and we're going to get this site finished. This is so exciting. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye.